Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. This is Tami Azka Rahmawati with student ID number 1940100018, and I will be share and explain mind map that I made. It is about positive and neutral messages. The first one is about routine emails, memos, and letters. Most workplace messages convey positive or neutral information that helps workers conduct everyday business. Because positive or neutral messages are routine and straightforward, they are direct and to the point. Email is the channel most frequently used, but memos and letters still play a role in the digital workplace. But in some industries, memos continue to be an important channel of communication within organizations. Memos are also used as attachments sent with brief cover emails when formatting matters, and the memo is important enough that it might be printed and displayed. Letters are a vital channel typically used for external communication, either in hard copy or in electronic form. And it is divided into 2 points. The first point is about understanding business letters. Despite email, workplace, instant messaging, and social networking, in certain situations, letters are still the preferred channel of communication for delivering messages outside an organization. Whether you send a business letter will depend on the situation and the preference of your organization. Business letters are necessary when the situation is for providing a permanent record, safeguarding confidentiality, conveying formality and sensitivity, and the last is for delivering persuasive, well-considered messages. And the last second is about formatting business letters. A short letter bunched at the top of a sheet of paper. In preparing business letters, use read-write margins, that is, don't allow your computer to justify the right margin and make all lines and evenly. Unjustified margins improve readability, say expert, and by providing visual stops and by making it easier to tell where the next line begins. And to look professional, you can use format direct response letter such as letterhead, deadline, inside address, salutation, optional subject line, body, complimentary clause, organization name, and last author's name. Second is about typical request, response, and instruction messages. Brief, neutral, or positive messages are also delivered by instant messaging, texting, tweets, and other social media posts. Most of business messages will involve routine requests and responses to requests, which are organized directly. So, it is divided into 4 points. The first point is writing requests. And when you write messages that request information or action and you think your request will be received positively, or front load, which means start with the main idea. The most emphatic positions in a message are the opening and closing. So, you need big idea first, providing details, and the last is closing with appreciation and a call for action. And the example of the order is provide informative, subject line summarizing purpose, salutation includes last name and honorific, because the email is addressed to a stranger, opens with informative but concise request, organized body and bulleted list with short question in parallel form, closes with call for action and deadline, provides name, rank, and follow contact information. B is for responding requests. A customer wants information about a product, a supplier asks to arrange a meeting, an employee inquires about a procedure, or a manager requests your input on a marketing campaign. In complying with such requests, apply the same direct strategy you use in making requests. A customer reply letter that starts with an effective or optional subject line, it helps the reader recognize the topic immediately. In the first sentence of a direct reply, deliver the information the reader wants. Avoid wordy, drawn-out openings. More forceful and more efficient is an opener that answers the inquiry directly. When agreeing to a request for action, announce the good news promptly. When answering several questions or providing considerable data, arrange the information logically and make it readable by using graphic devices such as lists, tables, headings, boldface, or italics. And in concluding a response message, refer to enclosures if they are provided. And to prevent abruptness, include a pleasant closing remark that shows your willingness to help. C is reacting to customer comments on social media. We live in an age when vocal individuals can start a firestorm or criticism online or become powerful brand ambassadors who champion certain products. And therefore, business must listen to social media comments about them and, if necessary, respond. However, social media marketing experts have developed guidelines to provide organizations with tools for strategic decision-making in various situations. And so that we should welcoming customer comments and adapting best practices for replying to social media posts. D is for composing instruction messages. Instruction messages describe how to complete a task. Instructions are different from policies and official procedures which establish rules of conduct to be followed within an organization. So we should creating step-by-step instructions, revising a message, delivering instructions, provide clear explanations, and the last is watch your tone. The third is about direct claims and complaints. When consumers must write to identify or correct a wrong, the message is called a claim. Because straightforward claims are those to which you expect the receiver to agree readily and use a direct approach. Increasingly, consumers resort to telephone calls, they email their claims. Large companies can afford to employ social media specialists who monitor and respond to comments. This is why, in an age of digital communication, claims written as letters of complaint still play an important role, even as they are being replaced by telephone calls, emails, and social media posts. It is divided into 5 points. The first point is stating a clear claim in the opening. Smart businesses want to hear from their customers. They know that retaining a customer is far less costly than recruiting a new customer. Open your claim with a compliment, a point of agreement, a statement of the problem, a brief review of action you have taken to resolve the problem, or a clear statement of the action you want. You might expect a replacement, a refund, a new product, credit to your account, correction of a billing error, free repairs, or cancellation of an order. When the remedy is obvious, state it immediately. But when the remedy is less obvious, you might ask for a change in policy or procedure, or simply for an explanation. B. Supporting a claim. In the body of a claim message, explain the problem and justify your request. Provide the necessary details so that the issue can be resolved without further correspondence. If you choose to send a letter by postal mail, include copies of all pertinent documents such as invoices, sales slips, catalog description, and repair records. But when service is involved, cite the names of individuals you spoke to and the dates of calls. C is concluding with an action request. And a claim message with a courteous statement that promotes goodwill and summarizes your action request. In making claims, act promptly. Delaying claims makes them appear less important. Delayed claims are also most difficult to verify. D is completing the message and revising. When Nick Arthur received a statement showing a charge for a 3-year service warranty that he did not purchase, he was furious. He called the store but failed to get satisfaction. He chose to write an email to the customer service addresses featured prominently on the Maxtronics website. Furthermore, Nick failed to tell the reader how to remedy the problem. The revision tempered the tone, described the problem objectively, and provided facts and figures. The most important, it specified exactly what Nick wanted to be done. And the last is posting complaints and reviews on social media. Social media experts advise that consumers exhaust all other options for complaints with the company before venting online. Although it may feel good temporarily to rant, most businesses want to please their customers and welcome an opportunity to right a wrong. Large companies employ social media specialists who track chatter about their brands and respond or troubleshoot. And these types of social data gathering to improve business strategy and customer service is called social listening. For example, angry posts are out of your control. Social media posts have a way of ending up in the wrong hands, making vicious complainers seem irrational. And the public criticism can cost you. Businesses and professionals can take individuals to court for negative comments online. And last, commenting responsibly. Consumers are always read user reviews when researching a product category. And for that, we have guidelines for writing online reviews and complaints, such as establish your credibility, check posting rules, provide balanced reviews, consider the reach and permanence of posts, accept offers to help, and reviews payment for favorable critics. Fourth is adjustment messages. When a company receives a claim and decides to respond favorably, the message is called an adjustment. Most businesses make adjustments promptly. They replace merchandise, refund money, extend discounts, send coupons, and repair goods. In fact, social media have shortened the response time drastically to mere minutes or hours, not days. Businesses make favorable adjustment to legitimate claims for two reasons. First, contractual and tort law protects consumers for recovery of damage. Second, and more obviously, most organizations genuinely want to satisfy their customers and retain their business. In responding to customer claims, you must first decide whether to grant an adjustment. And for that, it is divided into 5 points. The first point is revealing good news up front. Instead of beginning with a review of what went wrong, present the good news in an adjustment message immediately. If you decide to comply with a customer's claim, let the receiver know immediately. Don't begin with your message with a negative statement. And this approach reminds the reader of the problem and may rekindle the heated emotions or unhappy feelings experienced when the claim was written. Once you decide to comply with the customer's request, do so happily and avoid the half-hearted or reluctant responses. Second, explaining complaints in the message body. In responding to claims, most organizations sincerely want to correct a wrong. They want to stand behind their products and services and do what is right. In the body of message, explain how you are complying with the claim. In all but the most routine claims also seek to regain the customer's trust. And rebuilding that faith is important for future business. How to rebuild lost confidence depends on the situation and the claim. If procedures need to be revised, explain what changes will be made. But if a product has defective parts, tell how the product is being improved. If service is faulty, describe genuine efforts to improve it. But sometimes the problem is not with the product but with the way consumers use it. In other instances, customers misunderstand warranties or inadvertently cause delivery and billing mix-ups. Third, deciding whether to apologize. Whether to apologize is debatable. However, both judges and juries tend to look on apologize favorably. Some business writing expert advise against apologize, contending that they are counterproductive and merely remind the customer of the unpleasantness related to the claim. People like to hear apologize, and over time, sincere apology is essential for repairing relationships on the job, and it shows that the value of relationship and respect the other person's perspective. Fourth, using sensitive language. The language of adjustment messages must be particularly sensitive because customers are already upset. Here are some don'ts. Don't use negative words of praises. Don't blame customers even when they may be at fault. Don't blame individuals or departments within your organizations. Don't make unrealistic promises. And to regain the confidence of your customers, consider including resale information, such describe products, features, and any special applications that might appeal to the customers. And the last is showing confidence in the closing. And positively by expressing confidence that the problem has been resolved and that continued business relations will result. It's often appropriate to refer to the desire to be of a service and to satisfy consumers. Although the direct strategy works for many requests and replies, it obviously won't work for every situation. And lastly is goodwill messages. Finding the right words to express feelings is often more difficult than writing ordinary business documents. Many communicators are intimidated when they must write goodwill messages expressing thanks, recognition, and sympathy. And that is why writers tend to procrastinate when it comes to goodwill messages. In expressing thanks, recognition, or sympathy, you should always do so promptly. They also mean more to the recipient, and a prompt thank you note carries the hidden message that you care and that you consider the event to be important. And the goodwill messages should have the following characteristics such as selfless, specific, sincere, spontaneous, and short. And it divided into 4 points. A is for saying thank you. In business, as in our personal lives, we need to say thanks or show appreciation when someone has done us a favor or when an action deserves praise. And the following messages provide such as expressing thanks for a gift, sending thanks for a favor, saying thank you for hospitality, and the last is recognizing employees for their contributions. B. Replying to goodwill messages. These messages are attempts to connect personality. They are efforts to reach out to form professional and or personal bonds. Example for replying to goodwill messages is such as answering a congratulatory note and responding to praise. C is expressing sympathy and condolences. Conveying sympathy. In writing a sympathy note, refer to the death or misfortune sensitively, using words that show you understand what the crushing blow it is, and in the case of a death, praise the deceased in a personal way, offer assistance without going into excessive detail, and on a reasoning, forward-looking note. And the sympathy messages may be typed, although handwriting seems more personal. For writing condolences, as you write your condolence note, mention the loss tactfully recognize good qualities of the kids, assure the receiver of your concern, offer assistance, and conclude on a reassuring note. And the last is using email for goodwill messages. In expressing thanks or responding to goodwill messages, handwriting notes are most impressive and personal. However, if you frequently communicate with the receiver by email, and if you are sure your note will not get lost in a cluttered inbox, then sending an email goodwill message is acceptable. And that's all from me. I hope that you can find something useful from this mind map and explanation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.